All right, so let's go ahead and talk more about this story with our legal guys. Avery Friedman, a civil rights attorney and law professor. He's in Cleveland. Richard Herman, a New York criminal defense attorney and law professor. You are joining us from Las Vegas. Guys, I don't know where to begin with this. So many outrageous aspects to this story. Right. First of all, as Kyung just mentioned in her report, state laws mandate just a 2-year minimum for this crime. Richard, your thoughts?
The judge was going to resentence him to 2 years, and just before he did that, the prosecution filed their appeal and stopped him from doing it. Eventually, on appeal, he probably will get sentenced to the 2 years. But understand something, and we have to analyze this not emotionally, but legally and intellectually. This situation would have been a very difficult case to prove because she took her own life. If you don't have the victim, it's very hard, almost impossible, to get a rape conviction without her. Having said that, they cut a deal. They took away the 3 felony charges. He pled to 1 on a deferred prosecution, but he got deemed a level 1 sex offender. And you heard in that previous package, 59 conditions he has to live by. Now, granted, because of a violation of those conditions, he was brought back before the judge for resentencing, and the violation was he attended another location and he got into a relationship with an older woman of age.
Terrible.
That was the violation.
Go ahead, Avery.
The bottom line here is this. There's going to be probably a 2-year sentence handed down.
Voters, I understand, can kick him out of office. Isn't that the case, Richard?
Yes, he's up for re-election next year, but right now he's before a disciplinary committee based on alleged bias of his ruling here. Whatever you want to talk about, the legislature makes the rule, and they set the sentencing here. The sentencing was, like Avery said, a 2-year mandatory minimum, and he sentenced the person to 15 years, but he put him on a 30-day
deferred sentence.
Deferred because they couldn't prove the case,
sentence.
And that was the plea bargain.
Jail. Right.
They could have gone to trial and he could have got acquitted too. And then what would have people said? So, look, there was a dicey line here.
Well, the court had discretion not to accept that. Richard, the court had discretion not to accept that plea bargain. Clearly.
But
it's unacceptable.
If the prosecution said, this is our deal, Judge, you better take it, the judge has to take it. Otherwise, there will be no deals in that jurisdiction and everybody will go to trial.
All right, I'm going to have to leave it there.